Up next, I'm thrilled to introduce Pete Warden to discuss how the next generation of visual technologies on the edge will enable consumer electronics to see. Pete is a serial entrepreneur. Google acquired his company, Jetpack, and at Google, he was leading the TensorFlow Mobile team. Most recently, Warden co-founded Useful Sensors, a startup developing AI-enabled sensor modules for consumer electronics and home appliances. This will enable the Internet of Eyes, which our very own Evan first predicted in 2016.
Thanks so much. So this is a long title, but hopefully the idea is not as complex as it sounds. So to introduce what we're doing, here at Useful Sensors, we're building tiny, cheap hardware modules that have cameras and processing built in. And the big question is, why are we doing this? We're doing this because there are a whole bunch of really important, really useful problems that we see in the everyday objects that we're all interacting with, where using computer vision in a low-cost, private, easy to integrate form will be really, really impactful. Just things as simple as being able to use a QR code to set up Wi-Fi on an appliance or a refrigerator or some other kinds of white goods. Most appliances, most consumer electronics which has Wi-Fi, they don't actually get set up because the process is so complicated. Even around things like voice interfaces, actually being able to do lip reading together with everything else you're doing is super important. We've had customers using us for trying to tell where people's ears are, so you can actually do beamforming for audio speakers. There's gesture interfaces. There's telling who sat down in front of the TV so that you can actually show what they were last watching. Even things like detecting whether you're on floor, carpet, or rugs, or hardwood or tiles for things like cleaning robots or vacuums, as well as things like product recognition and ordering. And to prove that this isn't a complete fantasy, I want to talk about a couple of concrete use cases, not powered by us, but just showing how these kinds of vision technologies can actually have a really big impact on people's lives and actually help very grounded concrete use cases. So Keurig actually uses computer vision to tell which pod you've put in your coffee machine. And the immediate benefit for you as a user is it gives you the right recipe. So it'll brew the perfect cup of coffee based on exactly what you've put in there. But the other benefit is it lets them build a subscription service where you get exactly the pods you need when you need them. There's no guesswork. There's no trying to estimate how often or which things you need. You have this really, really powerful experience for consumers that lets them drive this recurring revenue from something that wouldn't have been happening otherwise. And at CES, Razer actually launched their soundbar, which uses computer vision to tell where users' heads are. And that is incredibly useful because it actually means that they can use a lot of audio beamforming technology to produce much better audio quality, much more immersive audio quality, using computer vision to do that kind of recognition. So this is the number one thing I want to get across, is that cameras like this are starting to become cheaper and cheaper. You can get something that does VGA quality for less than 30 cents. Pair that with microcontroller processing, and you can really see how the Internet of Eyes is starting to come. If you're interested, please get in touch, Pete at usefulsensors.com. And thanks so much for listening.